My name is Rich. I use the he, him pronouns. You're watching my YouTube channel where I play amazing tabletop role-playing games with friends. This is the first session in an exciting experiment. This is part of the Star Wars Saturdays campaign that I've been running for 2 years now, ongoing. Every month, a group from the Gauntlet community, we all get together. And it's different flavors, telling an anthology of stories set in the Star Wars universe. We're currently in the time period after Return of the Jedi, kind of before Mandalorian, so near Mandalorian time, post-Empire. Technically, the Empire's still in the process of falling, but Emperor Palpatine is dead, super dead, never coming back again because went down a well. And we all know in Star Wars, if you fall down a giant chasm, you're doomed never to return. So that's going on. We are playing Apocalypse World Burned Over. Now, Burned Over is a thing that last year during a period called Zine Quest on Kickstarter, the Bakers, McGay and Vincent Baker, released this digital zine. It was what they called a hack book. It was kind of an overlay for second edition Apocalypse World, but there were a number of, like, the basic moves were changed and a lot of the core assumptions. It was almost a fully playable game as it was, except there were some things to harken back to. Blah, 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 blah. Burned Over is really cool. It's kind of a PG-13 version of Apocalypse. The sex moves have been removed. A lot of the basic mechanics have been tweaked and refined and are super interesting. All new playbooks. Some are updates and slight revisions. Some are just crazy combos of different ones. It's awesome. And I like Burned Over quite a bit. Like almost everything that they have changed and updated, I find pretty awesome. And we are trying to take that and shove it into a Star Wars setting. That's what we're going to do today and for the month of March 2020. So before we start to introduce characters, I will just say it's set on the planet of Dathomir. Dathomir is a planet in the Outer Rim. It has a lot of history around dark forces, so I think the Psychic Maelstrom, which is extant in Apocalypse Burned Over or all of Apocalypse as an assumption, I feel like it fits. And the way I think of Dathomir is lots of ancient ruins and some technology, red mist that covers most of the planet and definitely will affect our color palette. And oh yeah, Rancors are from here. So that's a thing, but I'd probably just use for a bar name. No worries. We do have safety tools, friends. And these safety tools are important to me, and they should be to you. There's a Lines and Veils tab in our character keeper that already has some things filled out. We have lines, these are pieces of content we do not wish to have in our game. And it's like no argument. It just isn't going to happen. Animal abuse as a line. Can I ask, is killing a Rancor who's trying to eat you, is that animal abuse? I don't think so. I just want to check in. Are we all good?
No, that's not animal. It's, killing an animal is fine. Just, not making a gory spectacle of it.
All right. And then there's a line on sexual assault and violence. Veils, that means we're okay with if this content exists, but we're not going to shine a light on it. We're not going to focus on it. If it comes into a story, we'll fade to black or we'll quickly cut away, do a star wipe, as a friend of mine referred to the Lucas style of like wiping away from a thing. And the four veils that we have are torture, consensual sex, which means people can hook up, but we're going to fade to black. We're not going to get into the details. Suicide, and then a veil on peril to pregnant women or infants. I think that the death endangerment of children actually will like overrides that, like is more, but we're good. We're going to veil any actual peril to women, and there will be no endangerment of children. That's a line, so we're good on that. On top of lines and veils, we have X card. Because it's situational, the X card, all you have to do is indicate that you need to X card a particular thing. And you can also use our cool roll for your party, which is linked on the basic moves tab. And also higher up on our chat here in Zoom for the players. And the X card has a cool little button you can type in what's going on. But if you don't want to type, like, because that's a lot of work, friends, just say, hey, Rich, I need to X card a thing. If it's not immediately obvious, I may ask you to explain, like, okay, what is the thing that we're X carding? I'm not going to argue you out of it. I'm not going to challenge you in any way. I trust that you're here to have a good time, and this thing is impinging your good time. An X card is a thing that if we start down the road of a particular topic and you're like, I think I can roll with it, and eventually it gets to you, you still can X card. If it's a thing that happened last session and nobody X carded it, happens this session, you're like, you know what, I'm going to X card it today. That's cool too, right? Completely open tool for you guys to use. It is not an impediment to our fun. We have 5 beautiful brains here. I guarantee that any content that we've X carded to make sure we're still having a good time, that we can come up with some way around it to adjust our mental canon and continue on with awesomeness. So with all of that preamble done, I now get to take a break, get to drink a little bit of Diet Pepsi that I'm putting in a solo cup. This is not alcohol, friends. Alexi, if you can introduce yourself and tell us about your character.
Hey, my name's Alexi, he, him. You can follow all my gaming endeavors online at Cloven Pine Games. So check out my Twitter handle at Cloven Pine Games and check out some games on itch.io I've got there, also under the Cloven Pine Games brand. So for this series of Star Wars Saturdays Apocalypse World Burned Over, I'll be playing Bard, the Vigilant. He is a paranoid, sleep-deprived Zabrak. Because he understands the threat of the wolves of the Maelstrom, and perhaps nobody else does. Bard, I picture as being a strange, force-sensitive child who, in the waning days of the Empire, was picked up by this Sith Inquisitor, the 11th sister, who was going around collecting these force-sensitive children for some sort of strange project of her own. But when she was cut down by the Jedi Master Nova Kallus and fell down a bottomless pit, and so is definitely dead permanently, he went his own way. He didn't get recruited by the fledgling Jedi Order. He's just ended up on Dathomir, keeping an eye out for these strange wolves of the Maelstrom that he knows are dangerous force entities hovering at the edge of anyone else's consciousness. And and so some people might think he's crazy, but he's probably the only one who's seeing things clearly.
And these things that he sees clearly, just so we have it in the back of our mind, what do the wolves of the Maelstrom look like?
They look like angels, but they don't stand on the ground, and they have empty holes for eyes.
Seems Star Warsy. I like it. I like it a lot. Thank you very much, Alexi. And we're going to continue on to. This is great. I have 3 S names now, but one's an SA. Sawyer, if you could introduce yourself and please tell us about your character.
Hello, I'm Sawyer, also known as Ferret. I use he, him pronouns for ease, but any pronouns said with respect are fine by me. And I am going to be playing Kiana Latau, number 67. She is the operator and, more importantly, a clone. And she got on Dathomir as kind of a messenger, a courier. The Night Brothers, the Night Sisters, they didn't really like talking face to face for some reason, and she got to ferry messages between them. And honestly, like what she heard from Kiana number 39, that's a lot better than like being on the front lines of war. But the way I see her cloning is, I think that the original, like, Kiana Latau is a person, but was probably some kind of criminal that got her prison sentence was to be made clones out of. So she was she is just a genetic material bank now for the clone, or was. And her clone, my character, realized after the Night Sisters got decimated, got taken out, that maybe she'd be forcibly retired too. So she just stopped reporting back in and has stayed on Dathomir because, honestly, for a clone, this is a pretty good retirement package.
Nice. How old do you imagine Kiana is? Like she, I imagine, was created to be fully grown or quick grown like the clones in Clone Wars. But how physically old is she?
Well, her first impressions are rock and roll and young. So I think she is. I think the messengers between the Night Sisters and the Night Brothers didn't have a good life expectancy. So I think she's only around, like, I think she's about 3 years into service and maybe 2 years free. So about 5 years old, technically. But give like from birth, she would be like 24, 25.
Awesome. That is spectacular. And then the other question I have: Kiana has run into Kiana 39, but was that on another planet, or are there other Kianas here?
There are probably other Kianas. I was sent with my regiment, which had 4 others. 39 was the one who was our nanny. She like lived to be 45 before we were made, which is pretty good. And so her retirement package was she got to teach the other Kianas as they came of age. But yeah, I'm not setting my reputation move up for failure at all.
Good. That's great choice. I adore this. Sherry, please introduce yourself and tell us about your character.
Hi, my name is Sherry. I use she, her pronouns. I am playing Vale the Gearcutter. If you were to see her, your first impression is hand-me-downs. She definitely looks like everything she's wearing is refitted, and it looks maybe like it used to belong to a male rather than a female. She's sort of very nervous, tends to move around a lot and make lots of, keep your distance gestures and things like that. She's sort of very default of the population, Hume Zabrak kind of mix. And she's young. She's probably about somewhere between like 19 and 23. Hard to tell, but she's not particularly old. Let's see here. As is, I don't know. She has some basic skills, of course, as a gear cutter, the tinkering, but she's particularly a little bit weird. She's sensitive to objects. That's how she knows how to repair them. That's how her family has always known how to repair them. And she has, let's see, she can kind of tell what's coming up. And she's good advice if you bother to talk to her, but she doesn't really love to strike up conversations with strangers. Let's put it that way. Is there anything else?
No, that's really great. Fantastic. Thank you so much, Sherry. Steven, bring us home. Please introduce yourself and tell us about your character.
Hi, my name's Steven, and I use the he, him pronouns. I'll be playing HT-37. HT-37 is a hazard trooper. This is a cyborgified stormtrooper. Stands probably 1.5 feet taller than a regular stormtrooper. Very imposing. Like, you see a hazard trooper walk into the room with other stormtroopers, and they all kind of step aside and start getting a little bit shifty. He was abandoned here on Dathomir, and he's trying to find his place while still following orders. So he is humorless and somewhat terrifying. And I think he has like a tattered cloak that he's, started wearing. However, that tattered cloak does nothing to conceal the armor underneath and all of that. I think it's just an affectation that he's taken on, that they have taken on. So they've been modified so that they are no longer strictly human. They don't take off their armor. I imagine his armor is actually riveted in. One thing I should discuss is one of the moves that I took, which is manual override on my machine. When someone tells me to do something, if they say the words manual override, you don't have a choice. You have to undertake it. I have a move that lets me kind of try self-possessed. That lets me kind of try and get out of that. However, I'm not very good at it. And if we want to, we can modify that manual override to a different, more Star Wars-y kind of thing. I was thinking Order 66 might be really goofy, but something a little bit more Star Wars might be good. And the other thing I should discuss is that my name HT37, they say in the playbook, ask everyone what they call me. So I think you guys get to come up with nicknames for HT.
Fascinating. All right. I see there have been a couple of Protocol 17. This is Order 99. There's some pretty good ones. We'll play around with it. That's good. Nicknames are fun too. Let's circle back around to Alexi. We've got HX to hand out, friends. Let's work through that. So for Bard, you've got a few questions. Actually, you've got one question.
There's only one question that matters to Bard. So let me ask, Kiana, are you a wolf of the maelstrom?
Let me answer that with a resounding, I don't know. I mean, what's a wolf? I don't even know what I really am. Am I even Kiana? You're asking too many questions, man.
Okay, that's not a no. Vale, are you a wolf of the maelstrom?
No.
Okay. -1 HX. Hate 37. Are you a wolf of the maelstrom?
Yes.
Now the fun part of this question. What does he look like under his disguise?
Oh, under your disguise, you look like an angel, but you don't stand on the ground and you have hollow eyes. So I am watching you carefully, my friend.
What does that mean, the HX is?
So anyone who said yes, they're a wolf of the maelstrom, I get HX +1. If no, HX -1. Literally any other answer, HX +2. Cool.
Those are that's what you mark on your sheet, right?
Yes, yeah. I think that's just my
Cool.
my perspective on all these characters.
Sounds awesome. Kiana, you got some HX questions.
Yeah, any of you, have I ever caught you staring out at the horizon?
Yes.
Okay. So that is going to be +3 with Bard.
Nice.
Okay. I know I'm young and I'm kind of brash, so I might have gotten in trouble. Have any of you ever put in a hand to help me out when things got serious?
Yes.
Okay. Mechanical brother, that is +1 with you. And Vale, have you been with me on the road at all?
Absolutely. That's what I do. I travel around. You were the one who took me to, let's see, probably the High Market the first time that I went there.
Gotcha. So that'll be +2, and those are my questions.
Fantastic, Sherry. For Vale, you've got some HX questions. The HX questions are listed starting on row 45.
Let's see here. Do any of you abuse or really neglect your gear?
Yeah, I think I do. Yeah, I think it's a machine. It's something that needs to get replaced.
Okay. Let's see. I go out into the dangerous territory to salvage. Who usually comes with me?
I'm up for that because I am a lookout, right? Like I provide valuable services like warnings and insights, and that might include to you, Vale.
I could also see me taking that because, I mean, we already secured that I take you to your salvage grounds.
All right. So you two are fairly consistent travelers with me. That sounds awesome. And I like it that Bard's there with me, suspicions that I'm, a wolf of the Asmere.
I mean, like, maybe Bard's coming around because I'm weird too.
But a different kind. That's awesome.
So, are you obviating the biggest potential problem then?
Oh
Not
yeah,
asking that
I could
question?
ask that. The other question is, let's see here. I just thought once I got an HX answer, I was done. So which of you seems like the biggest potential problem?
I can also see that being me because, I mean, I have 4 other me's maybe ruining my reputation.
No.
And I've not told you like any code words to know if it's really me when I show up.
All right. And I suppose if I have that basic understanding that you're clone, every time I see you, I make sure that you like make the signs of recognizing me before I even approach. I'm very, very worried that you might be a different one of you.
Seems like a problem.
Wait. Should be a +1, +2, +1,
+2.
+2. Awesome.
Good. Stephen, you've got some HX questions to ask.
Bard, are you afraid of me?
Yes.
Kiana, are you afraid of me?
Hell no.
Vale, are you afraid of me?
Equipment is really cool. So I'm terrified of you, but yes, I'm terrified of you. What am I saying? But I still want to get my hands on some of your stuff. Just a look.
You're muted, Steven. You were muted when you were talking.
Sorry. If you're afraid of me, you get -1. If you weren't afraid of me, you get +2. And was I muted whenever I said I think that I have, I damage my equipment all the time and I come to you for help getting it repaired. So
Awesome. So we spend a lot of time together, but I'm still terrified.
Right.
Beautiful. That's great. But Kiana's not afraid of you. That's appropriate. You guys are friendly. Another aspect of Apocalypse World Burned Over is that you have hard zones. And I love hard zones as a concept because one of the problems I've had in previous Apocalypse World games is that we spend half of the first session talking about what the apocalypse was like and get into arguments and all that good stuff. So I've chosen a hard zone of the Fallen City. We've tweaked it a little bit to have ports of call for our operator. And then I also Star Warsified a few bits of it. The Fallen City in Dathomir is an ancient ruined city with skeletal skyscrapers standing or leaning together, collapsed clover leaves of Duracrete streets. Neighborhoods and business districts are now blasted, shattered, and fallen. The locations, and again, I'm on the NPCs and Places tab, starting row I, so you can read along with me if my voice annoys you. The locations are the spaceport, kilometers of open scrub and broken ground, work by struggling farmholds overseen by a high central tower and compound. Chiaroscuro, an open mercantile community sited under the fallen overpasses and along the tracks of an ancient industrial center. Moribund, or is it Moribund or Morbound? I've heard Moribund, but that was with someone who had a strong accent. Moribund. Dwellers in the ancient city's underground vaults and tunnels. High Market, a trade and barter town, occupying the 3rd and 4th stories of a dozen ruined buildings, connected by bridges over the roadways, defensible and locked down. The inroad, once a marvel, a cantilever Duracrete bridge 100 meters long, soaring almost 50 meters above what was once a running river, now a filthy, impassable muck. The bridge is the only way. It's barely passable itself, but still the toll takers hold it. The Rancor Pit. A bar, maybe. Surely not a place filled with legit Rancor, right? The Soul Tree, a massive stone building with a collapsed dome and flanking towers with a wide, clear margin all around it, still scattered with concrete barriers. A strict Duracrete barriers. A strict and menacing cult makes it their stronghold. And the Well, an enormous circular pit ringed with Duracrete ledges full of drinkable water. Hundreds of people come to it every day, and no one knows why it exists or how deep it is. Those are the locations. Did anyone have in mind this is the place that I definitely live? Does anyone have a strong feeling about that? And everyone else gets to live there. Because I'm not going to have you guys all in a bunch of bajillion places. No? Did I put too much pressure on everybody? The person who answers is the person who defines
I
what
think Chiaroscuro would be where Kiana would work, though. I also, let me check my ports of call, because there is one where I lay my head with flash rooms. Oh, it was called the 4th at the time, but we think we've renamed it, haven't we?
Yeah, what we did rename it.
Yeah, so I think that is now Moribund. So
Okay.
yeah, that, if that works with everyone else, that can the place that we're underground and everything.
Is everybody good with starting off underground?
I'm not sure about starting off underground. I don't
Okay.
know.
Do you have a particular one of these locations that really called to you?
I was more excited when we were talking about doing Chiaroscuro. I guess the question is it possible, Kiana, that you keep a bed of safety in Moribund as like a a place of last resort or refuge, like a kind of.
I think Moribund is my place of luxury. So yeah, maybe it's not where it's where I go to relax after a good score.
Are people okay kind of moving the default location more to Chiaroscuro? I just
I think it's neat. Anyone opposed to Chiaroscuro being default? All right, that's where you guys are. Chiaroscuro, an open mercantile community sited under the fallen overpasses and along the tracks of an ancient industrial center. Nice. So we have all of these like clover leaves and broken Duracrete levels that are above you, but this is a pretty open community. So there's a barter, there's a bazaar, right, where things are traded, and it makes a lot of sense because Vale would come here and sell their reconditioned goods or their scavenged items, right? So that all holds together in my head. I like it. And Kiana, whenever you get a good haul, you can always just scoot off. You're an operator. You've got this awesome vehicle. Bold Devil. Are you imagining that this is the Bold Devil is a speeder bike, or is it a speeder?
The Bold Devil is just the name of the car type I chose. I think
I thought you named it that. Sorry.
The name I named it is Macho Racer.
Oh,
and it's
okay. I got confused because it says Gold Bold Devil and then Frame Macho Racer, but okay, I've got you now.
Sorry about that. And but no, it is a slightly capacious hover speeder. It is about the size of what a large 4-door sedan would be in the modern day, but if you've seen The Mandalorian, the taxi cab, but in a lot better shape.
Yeah, cool. So yeah, like a cool speeder. I like it. Better shape.
And I think I have the only beginning of session move.
All right. Why don't you roll your beginning of session move? And I think it's the ear to the ground, right? Cool. Go ahead and roll plus cool.
That is a 9.
On a 7 to 9, word reaches you that choose one. Let's see. Hold on. Oh, on 10 plus, word reaches you that blank.
I choose from the 7 to 9 list.
Right. You choose from the word reaches you that choose one.
Okay. I think I will, since we're starting in Chiaroscuro, I think I'll
yeah, you name
that.
The location. Yeah.
Yeah, this is Chiaroscuro. Somebody there needs to talk to me. Who is it, MC?
Okay. Now I get to do some work. I love it. So someone wants to talk to you. Let's take a glance here. I've got a thing of names, so I should use that. I'm going to say that the person who needs to talk to you is Widow Core. Widow is Witto, but people often say it fast enough, so it sounds like a widow. Widow Core is an Ugnaught info chant, so he buys and trades information, and I think he seems to act like he's got networks off-world, and he wants to talk to you. So should we open up with that? Who do you have with you? Are you by yourself?
Oh, of course not. I think if it's okay, I've come with either Vale or my mecha brother.
I think I'll go with you.
Yeah, because someone intimidating is fun.
Yep.
I imagine because of our history that I have kind of glommed onto you kind of like a bodyguard, and we have a pretty decent relationship.
Yeah, and I think if it's okay to set the narrative, I think I know your manual override key, but the fact that I've never used it is a bit of trust between us.
Okay.
Yeah. And
How does HT37 know the override key if you've never used it? I'm just curious. Is it a thing where you said, I know your override key? Or
because he knows the Kiana units are given override keys to his units.
Sucky.
Rich, that just means you've got a whole bunch of NPCs who do.
No,
That's
so
awesome.
sucky. I love it. By sucky, I mean hooray. Not sucky as in bad. Just mean bad for you, but good for me. This is delightful. You just hand me all these lovely gifts.
Yeah. So I think I'm just pulling up to the where the horses would be leashed, but in my hover machine, my macho racer, and just settle down, turn it off, let HT37 out first. Well, this place looks like normal, so it's probably not bad news.
Cool. So Widow, he keeps at it's a place within the market itself, because he likes to be in the hub, in the network of things. So when you park up and check things over, there are a few beasts of burden who are nearby milling. And this is not quite a cantina. It might be a little, like he refers to it as a solarium. This place that does serve drinks has access for people to charge their devices and also to try to make off-world. So there's a big dish up above it, above this this particular thing. If you look at the NPCs and places tab, you'll see widow cores right there on row 2. So there's these panes of plastisteel glass that allow a bit of light come in, and then there's the shadow of the large dish that is that is used to communicate with a few of the satellites that attach to the holonet. So when you guys come in, HT, you recognize Diabonduna and Sero, which is a pair who travel the galaxy quite a bit. Twi'lek and a guy from Coruscant, a human from Coruscant. Dia, as she goes by, she is she has the scanner and she's currently spliced in to a power conduit, and she looks up and sees you and mentions something to Sero, and Sero will step around her a little bit. He doesn't draw his blaster pistol, but he has his hand kind of near it. A little bit of a warning, like a little bit of like, whoa, they know what you are. Do they know you, or do they just know your unit?
I think they just know me. I would avoid Dia thinking she could manipulate my system, and that's something I'm not very happy with. So whenever HD comes into the room, he has to duck under the door a little bit because he's so tall. But because there's this big open dome area, he can stand there normally.
Nice. God, how big is he again?
1.5 feet taller than normal people. So like I figure 7.5 feet or so.
Okay, so he's, sorry to cross the streams, but like he's kind of like a Spartan from Halo, right? Like it's that big, just freaking terrifying. I love that. Sorry, that's a compliment to me as a person who loves Halo. All right, awesome. That is great. Widow Core is he's got a chair. Like it's none of the other chairs here in this solarium are as nice as Widow's chair. Kiana, you got him this chair at some point. You scavenged it. He's had it reconditioned, recovered, and he sits that he loves it because it's Ugnaught sized, right? And he's got, of course, just like in the picture, he's got a cool glass table that he can prop his feet up on. And so he sees you and does the little like classy, like I'm just gonna make your way over here, and then he continues looking at his little data pad. What do you do?
I am going to saunter up, and is this the first time I have met him in a very... It's just like the first time like I've met him in a professional sense. Like it was the chair like a peace offering before. Like should I roll reputation or not?
Roll reputation, and we'll figure out if it's a peace offering. I think that sounds fun. By the way, friends, you want to be rolling dice because that's how you get XP in this. Pass or fail, just rolling with different stats. Get you.
I got an 8, which is probably my favorite result. I get to tell you one thing, and you get to tell me another, I think.
Nice.
Yeah, tell the MC what they've heard, and the MC tells you what they've also heard. So I think he's heard that I have a rare reputation on Dathomir. I'm loyal to whoever pays my bills.
That's hilarious. So you're loyal to whoever pays your bills, and that is rare?
No, I mean, I will not betray you for another price while I'm on your payroll.
Oh, okay. That makes a lot of sense and would be pretty valuable. And now MC tells you what they've also heard. Widow has also heard that you, that you have assassinated several people for credits. And whether that was you or another Kiana, does he even know? Does he even know there are different ones? I don't know. That's what he's heard. Kiana, thank you for coming so quick.
No problem. It was an honor to see you again.
No, just we don't need the pleasant. It's appreciated. We don't need it. Is he with you?
I don't see anyone else he respects beyond the way he can throw them here, so I think so.
Could work out. I need you to make a delivery for me. You're still mobile. You still have that speeder, right? You can still move things if I need you to, right?
Certainly. How many questions should I ask? The usual none. I see.
I've got some things I've come upon that could fetch a nice price if I can move it somewhere else. The Rancor pit needs a few intoxicants that I've come upon. A triangle trade kind of thing. So I need you to take it across the highway to the Rancor pit. There could be some trouble, though. I've heard the winds are not quite right, but that's why it's going to be so much more credit for us both if you do it now. Right?
Ooh. I think I need to read a person.
Oh, why don't you read a person? Now, there are ways to help. So if HT is eager to help, the way it works now is HT asks, can I help? And you, Kiana, will say how you could potentially help. And if they do it, then you get to roll your HX and give them some bennies. But you don't have to. I'm just throwing it out there in case you're thinking about it.
Yes, I am fine having help.
So I think we've been together long enough. I realize that. So how can I help?
Basically, I think be intimidating enough to throw Witter off his game so I can maybe glean his true emotions.
So I think that I step into the room just a little bit, and there's this, mechanical creaking noise as I step closer, and that height difference between HT and the Ognaut is just emphasized. So, and I'll roll with HX.
Correct.
Okay. And I rolled an 8.
Okay, on a 7 to 9 on when you heal. Okay, so on any hit, the MC chooses the most suitable. They weren't able to make the attempt, but now they are. I think reading a person makes sense here. They get +1 to their roll, +1 hold, +1 choice, +1 harm, suffer -1 harm, or suitable bonus. You both roll for it, and the better roll stands. I'm going to go with they get +1 to their roll. Okay, so go ahead, Kiana, and roll. Mark an XP HT on your HX side because you rolled to help. And go ahead and roll plus.
I got a 9.
Okay. Oh, that almost pushed you over, but not quite. All right. On a 7 to 9, you hold 2 against them. During your interaction, you can spend your hold 1 for 1 to ask me or their player about this NPC a question. Do you want to ask that question now?
Yeah. What is Whitworth thinking of doing in in this deal?
You know Witter well enough that the edge on profit isn't as much of a motivator for him to move as quickly as he's urging you to go. So whoever he is delivering this to at the Rancor pit has something on him, and the profit is just an excuse.
And I think Kiana moves closer. Her bolt caster or blaster, I'm not sure which. I don't know if both are in the game or not, but I think she has
They're both in the game. Yeah,
I think she has a very primitive revolver type weapon.
Okay.
And it's completely holstered, and I think she's like putting it close to the desk as she gets near enough to sit, lean on the side. It's like, and all you need is delivery. Is that correct? No bonuses or extras I should look out for on this job?
Anything else you pick up on the way, as long as you get it there quick so they can maximize profit, right? That's what we want. We want to make money. That's why we're here, to make credits. So anything you do along the way, that's for you and the big guy. That's fine. Just get it there quick.
What does he hope I'll do?
He hopes that you'll ignore his nervousness and just take the job and go do it as quickly as possible. He wants you to be successful, and he's worried about this storm that he mentioned.
Yeah, I'll look at my mechanical brother. So we have a job. Do you want to set your rates, or should I set it for both of us?
You can set it for both of us.
And
in working together before, I take almost nothing.
Yeah. And I will not let him know that. I will not let Whittor know that, of course.
Yeah.
And she's like, you see his size. You see his abilities, I think. He needs at least as much as I do, if not a bit extra, because it takes a lot of energy to move that body.
Barter for each of you. You have the vehicle. What good is a big warrior like him if you're moving quick enough to where you don't have any trouble? Right? A barter for each of you, right?
Oh, Whittor. I have the fastest vehicle on Dathomir. I have the best control of the big vehicles on Dathomir. And as far as I know, I'm the only one that can go into the Rancor pit and not have to worry about being stabbed in the back. So I think you should double that for both of us, and we'll be off as fast as we can.
Oh my, looks like you're pushing things here. Are you trying to perhaps charm him into giving you a little bit more barter here?
I think I am.
Oh my goodness, you've already marked cool, but let's have you roll it anyway.
That is a 8.
Okay. All right, on a 7 to 9, if they don't want to go along with you or call you out, they can choose to ask for evidence. It says 2 per if you leave immediately. I have the crates for you to take, but you have to go now. I want you to get there before the storm hits. Yes, right.
Load it up. Let's quit talking, and time is money.
He'll throw his feet off of the glass table, and we'll do a wipe of him ambling forward to help you get the crate affixed so you guys can get. And I think what the way it'll work is that there's enough of these intoxicants to where they're actually on a grav pad that has a hitch to it that you can hook to your speeder. So the next time we revisit you guys, you'll be on the road, as it were. Let's.
As we go to leave, I think we see HT get in the speeder, and the speeder kind of lists a little bit.
Yeah. And as you guys start to pull away, we see Dia and Dia and Cero. They both walk out of the solarium and they talk to each other. And you see Dia, she like picks up a little commune and she's calling ahead to someone. So we'll cut away from you guys and let's pick up with Vale. So Vale, what's the kind of place where you currently do your gear cutting?
I think it is in Cheryaska. Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, essentially I have a place that probably used to be like a spacious janitorial closet in a sort of factory, and it's like mostly what's still existing. The nice thing is it's got like it's a tile floor. It's got a sink, and even though the running water doesn't work, it's a place I can put water or whatever liquid I need to work with when I'm, cleaning things and stuff like that. So it works as a drainable bucket, which is awesome. And I have it. The ceiling is pretty high, so it gives me lots of room to put my tools, and it has a pretty exceptional lock on it. So that's why I like that place.
Cool.
So,
is this place near where you sleep, or is it the place where you sleep?
Oh, it's the place where I sleep. There's a set of lockers against one of the walls, and I just crawl on top of the locker thing and sleep up there.
Nice. Yeah. How do you handle any animals that come into your workshop?
What do you mean?
Well, if, say, perhaps an animal wandered in to your particular establishment, would you shoo it away, or would you just live with it, not worry about it?
Oh, that's an interesting question. It depends on what it is. Is it something that people like to eat?
I mean, a loath cat is probably not super great to eat.
Okay.
Not a whole lot of... here, let me just share with you a look at what a loath cat looks like.
Awesome.
They have really big heads.
What's their nature?
I mean, they're space cats, so
Okay.
they like cats. They
So sometimes you got to wrestle them to do what you need to do, but for the most part, probably one loath cat she would be fine with, as long as it didn't chew on her wiring and that kind of stuff. But
yeah, no, that
she would be okay.
seems super uninteresting to this loath cat.
Yes. What is it the loath cat is interested in?
I mean, food, of course, if
Okay.
you deign to feed it, but it just strolled in 2 days ago, and it often will climb up onto the cabinets where you sleep because there are a few blankets there.
Mm-hmm.
So it just sleeps there during the day, and then when you climb up, the last 2 days it has climbed off of the cabinet and gone elsewhere.
Right.
So it comes back in the morning.
I'm amenable to that. I haven't had family for a while, so having something living around because I talk to myself all the time, but now I can talk to the loath cat, and it feels slightly less crazy. How's that?
Sounds great.
Yeah.
Sounds great. So yeah, this loath cat is asleep, but peering over the cabinet as you are working on your current. Do you mostly recondition things, or do you actually build anything?
I mean, you mostly recondition things because that's what clients need, right?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, she makes stuff all the time. That's what she goes to market to try to sell.
And
Like her specialty is actually things that are made to fit onto standard equipment that already exists, like the tractors and stuff, to create things that make them, what do you say, more useful, like feeders, hoppers. I mean, we're talking about she's kind of a welder, but
Mhm.
on smaller scale things, like nothing bigger than she could carry.
Okay. So you're working on your current project of some stuff to sell when do people just walk in? Is there a door? Do you have a closed door? I imagine you have a door, right? And just check.
Yeah, she has a door and there's no window. So she has, when she's in there, a lot of times her door's propped open, which is why the loath cat can come in and go.
Oh, right. Cool.
Yeah.
So, yes, someone calls from the door. It's a female's voice. Vale.
She kind of picks her stun stick up, unless she recognizes the voice. But other than that, she's like, yeah.
It's Swana.
Oh.
And then you Swana's on our NPCs. I'll move
Okay.
her up to row 2. Swana's a young kind of Donji mercenary warrior that you've seen in market. I think she had a pair of what's the Star Wars binoculars? I can't remember the name of the tech. Like
Monoculars?
Is it monocular? Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, she had a pair of binoculars that you reconditioned for her, but it was a while ago. And she kind of sticks her head in. She has her little head covering going. You see her kind of bluish cheeks, and she says, "Are you open to taking on new work?"
Oh yeah. What you got? Anything interesting?
She'll slide the door open, and she starts to come in. And then
I have a chair. I'll take stuff off of it so she can sit down or something.
As you're clearing off the chair, she actually pushes the door closed and looks around. You catch her looking around, just like checking to see. She doesn't seem to be worried about the loath cat, but she's normally pretty confident, has that youth level of confidence. Reminds you of Kiana a little bit in that aspect, but she seems a little more wary right now.
Okay.
Comes in and has a seat.
Her wariness makes me wary, and I kind of turn around and I go, "Okay, are you here to kill me?"
Oh, she doesn't have the like blasters. The blaster rifle is like over her shoulder. So yeah, when you oh no, I'm sorry. Sorry, apologies. And she does this like weird hand gesture thing that's from her culture of, and she goes over and she has a quick seat. No, I've come upon something, and I think that it might be very valuable.
Oh, so we're keeping it quiet. All right.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. It's a data crystal. I found it in an old wreck, very far away. Funny story that I was even there, but that doesn't matter. But this data crystal, it was actually slid into what appeared to be their engine. So I think instead of it being perhaps it's some kind of power crystal. She reaches into like a little pouch that's right by her blaster pistol holster, and she pulls out this crystal, and it's very well formed, and it's completely clear. She sets it on, I guess, your work table. She kind of sets it gently. She says, I don't know if it was taking readings on the engine, or if it was empowering the engine, or if it was just an affectation, but it looks so. I think it means something. What do you think?
Let me see. And I will touch it and I'll read the object.
Sweet. That's right, because you've got a things speak move.
Yes.
Nice.
So, I got to roll weird. Okay.
You do, and you get to mark that.
Okay.
Mark XP for that.
let's see here. This is Veil. This is 2. So that's a terrible roll. So there you go. 3 + 2 is 5.
Nice. That's treat a miss as though you've opened your brain to the world's psychic maelstrom and missed the roll.
Okay.
Huh. Bard. There are wolves. There are 3 wolves who are outside of Vale's workshop. Did you just come upon them, or have you been tracking them?
I've been tracking them.
They've been following this red-skinned young girl named Swana Donji. They've been following her since you first tracked her coming in to Chiaroscuro.
Yeah. So Bard's been keeping his distance, but keeping an eye on these wolves and this this youngster who's in over her head that they're on the tail of. So you said your workshop is a disused janitorial closet?
Yeah, think of the back of a factory where just the back wall and some of the rooms right next to it have survived. And then there's a sort of big metal door that leads out to the outside from it. So
that's great.
And
Yeah.
then one into what would have been the internals of the factory.
Can we say, Rich, that maybe Bard has made his way up into kind of he's like up on top of a piece of broken machinery on this factory floor, able to look down at what's going on?
Oh yeah, that sounds amazing. That's exactly where we first find you.
Yeah. If I got eyes on some wolves, then I gotta read the situation to know what they're planning and what I need to do next. So shall I roll with Sharp?
Yeah, why don't you roll with Sharp, and something's about to happen that may tilt your read. But let's say this is the read coming into this particular moment happening. Is that cool?
Okay, yeah. If that works for you, that works for me.
For me, yeah.
Yeah, I'll do. We already got silver die in the mix. I'll do red dice. Yeah.
Nice. It's appropriate for Chiaroscuro and
Dathomir. Yeah. So what's my Sharp? My Sharp is 2. Okay. Then I rolled 6. I have 2 Sharp, so I get an 8. And that lets me ask one question. Who or what represents the best opportunity for me to for me to stop the wolves?
But before that, there is Sniff the Wind, I think, is a move that you have.
That's correct. Oh yeah. When I read a situation, ask a free additional question, and I can ask from
that list.
Yeah.
Cool. So rephrase your question. I'm sorry. I saw the note from Ferret. Thank you very much, Sawyer, for bringing that up. But you say who or what can represents the best opportunity for me to
stop the wolves.
Stop the wolves. Nice. Okay.
And I'll add from Sniff the Wind, or give me that answer first, and then I'll ask another question if you feel like it.
So the answer to that, the best opportunity is Swana, for all of her youth and innocence, is a very well-trained warrior who also will draw a lot of their attention. So she will probably hurt several of the wolves, and they're going to deal with her and not you.
Got it. Yes. She will be the distraction.
Exactly. Very effective distraction.
Who here is keeping secrets from the rest.
Oh, nice. So of course the wolves are keeping secrets. I mean, that's a default. That's not even a fair answer.
Mm.
Sawana was not entirely truthful. What it was a lie through omission about the ship that Sawana found and the data crystal, or the crystal that she found. So she gave minimum amount of information to Vale to try to find out the truth. So that's the secret, right? Because you don't know the secret, you just know that a secret's being kept.
Yeah, I just pick up on just something shifty in Swana's body language through the window of this workshop, and I'm like, secrets, yes.
And that's when Vale falls to the floor holding the crystal. Vale, you use things speak, which allows you to understand objects as if they were people, and it has been thousands of years since anyone connected with this crystal. You see this crystal along with 2 others, 3 crystals all placed into a device, a large device, a device that is a weapon that can level a city.
Is it the one that leveled this city?
It is. And then you come to with Sawana over you, like gently shaking your shoulders. Her eyes are wide with concern and alarm. What happened? It didn't do that when I touched it.
And she holds it up and she goes, this is for powering a weapon.
Oh. Cool.
She goes, you need to tell me where you found it.
I did tell you. Remember earlier I said that I found it at a ship really far away, like farther away than high ground, all the way towards the muck.
So we can go there, right?
We can. Yes, we can go there. And you don't even have to. She is lying, and she is digging in and trying to find a way to make this lie true-ish.
She sort of goes, this is part of what blew up the city.
That has to be worth so many credits.
It's worth nothing if they don't know how it was mounted.
Can you do that?
I'm going to ask you a question, Rich.
Yes.
She saw the whole process of it being mounted. How much of the mechanism does she have a sense of?
I think she has enough to where you could, and Rich is like defaulting to Apocalypse World 2nd Edition. So Sawyer, check me. Do we still have projects? Do we still have? Okay, yeah, you could start a project and make this happen.
And she just nods. She goes, but I know you're lying, and I don't know why. So until I understand that, I will do nothing.
That's awesome. And of course, Bart, you're hearing all of this. The wolves are coming closer, and they are listening in. They are very, very curious about this.
Yeah. I'm not sure. I've tried to fight 3 wolves of the maelstrom in the past, so it's hard to estimate, how much of a foolhardy battle this would be were I to try to step in. I think I decide, I can't give them the benefit of their disguise anymore. So I'm going to yell down a warning. Vale knows me. She's surely heard me, discuss the dangers of the wolves of the maelstrom. So I will yell, Vale, watch out! You've got wolves on your tail. 3 of them.
All right.
And that's great. What do you do?
Well, I'm in my little building, right?
Yeah.
So I think you see what she does is she goes over to that metal door and she flips the bolt, and then she picks up a set of cables and a connector thing, like a big magnetic thing, and she slams that against the door and hits a switch, and it goes fully electrified. She just sort of pushes Swana back so she doesn't touch the door.
Oh, nice. So I would like to see you act under fire. See if you can pull that off before any of the wolves are able to make their way inside.
All right. So act under fire is, I got to
great question. So act under fire is a move that you would roll with cool.
All right. Sorry about that.
That's okay.
So 5 and 6. So terrible again. 6. I did get
right. On a miss, be prepared for the worst.
Oh no.
Unless Bard wants to help by that yelling out. Or unless that would have just made it possible.
You tell me, Rich. Can I roll a help, or shall we?
You can ask Vale how you could help.
How could I help, Vale?
Let's see here. I suppose by jumping down where they could see you, that give them just a moment of having to look over to see what's going on.
Yeah, you have to jump down where they can all see you to keep her to give her the ability to close the door and keep out all the wolves.
What a terrible idea. I'll do it.
Yes.
Roll
HX. Roll HX.
Yeah. And because you gave me an ambiguous answer about whether you're a wolf, or no, never mind.
I gave you a certain answer.
You gave me a certain answer. Okay, so I'm rolling with a -1 here. I forgot who gave the ambiguous answer. And yet, I roll an 11.
That is amazing.
But boxcars, that's amazing. Sweet.
This has got to be Bard's latent force sensitivity kicking in just a little bit, and we get a kind of implausible Jedi jump down from this thing.
And one of the wolves slips in because it's a mixed success. One of the wolves slips in, and then you close the door, Vale. You don't see you feel a whoosh of air, but you're shutting a door, right? And you're activating the electricity, and Swana has drawn a weapon. She's whipped out with nice and skillfully. This girl can shoot people. She's not super smart, but in a fight. And she draws it on you, Bard, right? Because she doesn't know you. So she's got this thing out, and you know that there's a wolf in this room. And it does not appear that Vale nor Swana can see.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Thank you. So on a 10+, they also get plus. So is that
cool.
Because Bard rolled it? Bard is giving a +1H, so Vale now has +1. Thank you so much, Sawyer. You are amazing, and you're a very good helper. Thank you. Good. So the wolf is here, floating over the floor. They don't stand on the ground. They look like angels. When you say look like angels, we're talking wings.
Yeah, I think they probably appeared kind of just beautiful members of many species in flowing robes, but they're not touching the ground, and they've got those hollow eyes.
Nice, cool, okay. For some reason I'm having a Babylon 5 thing with, so doesn't matter. Yes, there's an angel in here. They have a sword at their belt that they have not yet drawn. This one knows that you are here, and their face turns towards you. You cannot see their eyes tracking you because they have empty holes for eyes. But this angel is here in the room. Vale, you close the door. Follow what Bard had to say about there being wolves. You are safe, though. You close the door. Sawana's got this weapon out, and she's, hey, is Zabrak okay?
Yeah, it's my friend Bard. Yeah, and I'm like, I didn't see any wolves.
The loath cat hisses and is tracking something walking towards Bard.
Your beast can see it, Vale. Reveal yourself, foul spirit. I'm gonna roll peel back the disguise.
Do it.
So when I'm present with the wolf of the maelstrom, I can choose to roll plus weird, and on a 10 plus, everyone will see them clearly. On a 7 through 9, get just an impression of part of them, and on a 6 minus, they'll see wolves where there are not. Wow! It looks like I rolled boxcars again.
What?
I saw the dice rotate. So
if you saw the rotate, I trust you.
All right.
And so on a 10 plus, what does it look like when you peel back the disguise? Like, what do you do, Bard?
Yeah, I think it's more like it's more of a thing where Bard has some of this connection to the Force, but no like particular training in it. So I think like we just see like one of his hands just like tensing at his side, almost like he's not even paying attention to it. Like he's just yelling at thin air from everyone else's perspective, but the audience can see this like gesture that his hand is making without him really noticing it, and ripples of the Force spread out from that, and so the kind of whatever veil of invisibility the wolf is hiding behind is torn asunder.
Nice. And so the way that this wolf, this angelic creature, is revealed is as if sand is blown by wind, and then the colors trail after it, and you see in these like white robes this beautiful creature with wings, and their feet are just this much above the floor, and they quickly draw out a sword that licks to life with flame. And you see it, Vale, for the first time. This is the first time you've seen a wolf. Sawana shoots it, but it is going to still try to hurt you, Bard, because you're the one. And it's going to hack at you. Vale, what do you do when you see this?
I think I'm trying to read the stitch. I want to see what I can do to set this up for Bart, if that makes any sense. Like she knows, she has no idea how to fight this, but she wants to do something that's going to make this easier for Bart to handle.
All right. So, when you read a charged situation, I would agree. This is a charged situation. Roll plus sharp, and then you can mark the XP for that too.
All right. Let's see if I can succeed at one roll today.
We'll see.
No. There's a 5 plus a 1. So 6.
Okay. So you still get to mark XP.
Yeah.
And on read a sitch, let's see, on a fail, yeah, they don't have a fail state marked. It used to be the, ask a question, prepare for the worst. Now it's just sometimes I might have you ask the question anyway. You had fallen down. You had fallen down earlier, holding the crystal. You pop back up to close the door, and yeah, you lose track of something that you were holding, the data crystal. At some point, you drop it, and it rolls around on the floor. Sawana is shooting this thing because obviously it has some kind of cloaking device or something that has been revealed, not Bard screaming at it to reveal it. But yeah, Vale, you not sure what to do here because
Oh no, I know what to do. When I drop it, I go scrabbling around looking for it. It's the first thing on my
it's
mind.
super more important.
Yeah, exactly.
Like Bard and a wolf, whatever. Yeah, so you're scrabbling after the data crystal. You're no help whatsoever. Bard,
Sorry.
you're about to take some hurt. I think that you're going to suffer for your dedication here. So you're going to take 2 harm.
Oof.
Do you have any armor?
I have tattooed sigils. They are worth 2 armor, but are unreliable.
Huh.
Unreliable. It does not work if your last roll was doubles.
What?
No way,
That's not how
really?
it works?
That's how it works.
Well, stupid me rolling boxcars, man. Yeah, so I've got like, these are like traditional, Dathomir tattoos, and it's just that, the ones Bard has are meant to provide some protection against the wolves of the maelstrom, against like malevolent force use, but it is not consistently effective, it sounds like.
Awesome. You take 2 harm. Go ahead and roll the harm move. You roll 2d6 minus the harm taken. So now instead of wanting to roll high, instead of wanting to roll low, like some harm moves in PBTA, you want to roll high. Low rolls on the harm move are bad.
Okay, and just to check, Rich, 2 harm, does 2 harm mean marking out 2 quarters of this countdown clock, basically?
2 harm, what you'll do is you'll go up to the countdown and you'll go from 0 to 6.
Yeah.
And you've done that, because it will fill in the countdown clock. That's automatic. Now you roll the harm move to see if it's worse. I've changed the standard moves on the moves tab to show you what that move looks like.
Oh,
and you
nice.
just roll minus the harm you suffered, which is 2.
Okay.
Roll boxcars. Come on.
Let's see. So this time I have rolled a 5. Minus 2 is a 3.
On a miss, the MC chooses 1. You're out of action, unconscious, trapped, incoherent, or panicked. It's worse than it seemed. Take an additional harm, or choose 2 from the 7 to 9 list. I'm going to go with... You lose your footing, and you miss noticing something important. The flames lick and burn around your armor, sending you sprawling. You clatter against one of the workshop tables and bounce and hit the ground. The wolf has knocked you to the ground, and then it doesn't go for the killing blow. It turns away from you and heads for Swana. Slices her blaster rifle in half. And then I'm curious, Vale, as this sword-wielding wolf closes on you, you get your hand around that crystal, that power crystal. But now the wolf is standing over you, and it looks like it wants to poke you with the flaming sword. What do you do?
I think that I have a stun stick that I have with me. Essentially, that's just a thing. And I think I'm going to, because I'm scrabbling around like that on the floor, but I have like a cape thing. So actually, like I have when I pull the stun stick, it's like my arm, what I'm actually doing with it is hidden under the cape. And I'm just going to like essentially smack it at the Achilles heel down there by its thing to essentially shock it into not killing me in the second and hoping that my companions can help me out here. So
awesome. I'd like for you, I don't want to do battle because I think
fine.
Act Under Fire will be perfectly suitable here.
Okay.
So let's have you Act Under Fire. Go ahead and roll plus cool, and you get to mark that XP on that.
Okay.
And per the chat, Sawyer, thank you very much. Don't forget you get to mark the XP for taking harm. Since you took some harm there.
I took some harm?
No, Bart.
No?
I'm sorry. I was bouncing between mentally and didn't do a good indicator. Sorry.
So I rolled an 8.
You rolled an 8.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. On a 7 to 9, you flinch, hesitate, or stall, and the MC can offer you a worse outcome, a hard bargain, or an unfortunate choice. You can stun stick this creature,
Yes.
but it will stab you first. So you're going to take some harm. Or you can bail out. If you drop the crystal, it won't hurt you.
Oh
It's
gosh,
not
I
after you.
can't drop this crystal. It's a city killer. No, I will take the harm.
Okay, sweet. So you are using the stun stick. It stabs you, and we'll define how the stun stick works in just a moment. I think it's going to do some particular type of harm. Do we still have S harm, by the way? Okay, cool. So it'll do effectively S harm. It stabs you with this flaming sword. You take 2 harm. That's a lot of harm.
I take 1 harm. I have
All
armor.
right, you've got armor that isn't unreliable.
No, it's just armor.
So just 1 harm. Go ahead and mark yourself to 3. Mark the XP for that, and then roll 2d6 minus 1.
Okay. Let's see here. So X, mark 1, and I'm rolling 2d6 minus 1.
Correct.
Ooh, I got an 8.
Nice. That's better than the lower
everything
roll.
else. Yeah.
All right, on a 7 to 9, the MC chooses 1. You lose your footing, you lose your grip on whatever you're holding, you lose track of someone or something you're tending to, you miss noticing something important. I am choosing you miss noticing something important. As this thing stabs you, you hold on to the power crystal, then you stun it. It kind of jumps back from this stun harm. You see the electricity jump around it. It's almost like you had thrown like an ion grenade of some kind, and it flickers and then disappears. Bard, the wolf is gone.
I like pull myself up and look out. Like, is there is a window in this door? Yes, even because I want to look out and see if I see the other wolves still out there.
No, you do not see the other wolves.
All right, I'm like, they've fallen back. Good work.
And I think she stands up and she looks at Bard. She goes, "They're real."
Of course. Didn't you believe me before?
I mean, they're really real.
Yes.
Yes. Now
And
I
terrifying
understand, Bard.
Good.
Why were they here?
And I turn and look and like stare down at Swana, and I'm like, that's really a question for her. What aren't you telling us?
Cool. And she's dropped her blaster rifle, like her little battle rifle there, because it got sliced in half. And now she's looking between the two of you. She still thinks this is some kind of like obfuscation cloak technology, and so she's seen weird creatures. But yeah, you corner her, and there's something not telling you, and then she looks for a moment, and then we cut to the loath cat that just kind of curls down and goes back to sleep. And then we cut away from you guys before she answers and pick up with HT and Kiana on your speeder traveling. As you guys are zooming along one of the old Duracrete highways, you see there's this storm behind you, right? There's electricity, and it's some kind of huge dust storm that's taking place. So what do we see with Kiana? Tell us a little bit about this speeder. How have you made it your own, Kiana, to where we love this particular, because it's Star Wars, so we got to love the ships, right? So how have you personalized her?
Well, I think that I have we have to have some kind of droid unit on it just to help pilot it. And I think this is a callback to the original series with the R4D4, or the droid that Luke was going to buy originally and broke down.
R5? Oh,
yes.
Man, R5 is great. Sacrificed himself for the good of the... Yeah, that's awesome. And R5D4.
And it's I think its lighting pattern has been made up for like clone rights lights. Like so each one's a different color. And I think the speeder itself is just it looks like I think that there's a stylized Rancor on the side that looks like it's going to like come at you, and the front has like the Rancor jaws, and then on the other side is this I think this crossed out Empire, like it belonged to the Empire, just like the logo has like the X and the like circle around it.
That's awesome. I love this with all of my chubby heart. Good stuff. Sweet. So you R5D. Do we want to go with like R5D3? It's like an R5 unit. We just go
That's
with a
fine.
different D.
Yeah.
Awesome. So it beeps and warbles, and I assume Kiana speaks binary, as does HT, and the audience doesn't see it, but you know that it is cursing, because this is the worst possible time to go out for a little excursion. And we have significant drag produced by this stupid hover pad that we're dragging. And did you notice that there is a storm behind us? This is a terrible idea, Kiana. This is the worst idea.
Yeah, you're right. Mecha brother, could you balance your weight and get in like the back seat in the middle for a bit? That'll make this better.
To move faster.
To balance, it'll balance out the weight distribution.
Okay. So yeah, I'll get up and I'll literally, like, while we're speeding along, I get up and the speeder kind of bounces a little bit, and I stand back, and does it have the engine in the center?
Yes.
Nice. And so I kind of straddle it, almost like I'm riding it into, like a mount.
Yeah, and then I'll just say, like, okay, now hold on tight, both of you. And I think I'm going to try to outdistance the storm.
Ah, that sounds amazing. So if you want to outdistance the storm, unless you had another thought, I was thinking it's just an act under fire. Did you have another?
It's outdistance. You roll plus cool anyway.
Oh, cool.
Plus your vehicle speed.
Outdistance. Rich is going to look for outdistance. Oh, he's got it handy.
Woot, that's an 11.
Nice. Deal with bad terrain. Outdrive another vehicle. Where is outdistance? Is it in the Z?
It's usually another vehicle. I may be handling bad terrain.
Whoever spent more to drive fast, you outdistance the other driver. So it looks like it's drive fast. Whoever spends more to drive, but that's out driving another vehicle. Okay, but dealing with bad terrain is exactly what you're doing, and that's still cool. Modified by him. You just said all those words. I'm sorry. Yeah, good. That is awesome. You fly through untouched. How exciting is that? Yes.
Rich, I think now is a good time whenever the AI hazard comes into place. Once per session, the AI takes over. Does that sound good?
That sounds great.
Balance up here in the middle of this thing, and
yeah, so let me double check my AI override here. The override warlord threat once per session. More often, if you choose, tell the MC your AI override takes over. Ask the MC what you do. This is amazing, and you've got self-possessed, so you can resist it. So here's what happens. Something the droid said fires off in your mind that the droid is not wrong. You need to outdistance this thing, and the best way to do it is to disconnect this dead weight that is dragging you along. So, Kiana, you're racing along. You're making distance. You're pushing like the needles, like tick, 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 tick. And when you look back, you see that HT has gone back and he's starting to work on the hitch to disconnect the crate and the hover pad. And if he does so, then you're going to zip along and it's just going to continue and just kind of bob along and slowly stop. What do you do, Kiana?
I want to help them resist their urge if they're going to resist.
So do you say anything?
Oh no, I'm going to hit a bump on purpose to make you slam back and hit your head on the engine.
Oh, I see. And I think that brings me back close enough. I think what I'm experiencing is a little bit of a flashback where I'm on one of the Imperial ships, and a speeder bike, like an Imperial speeder, and we have maybe we have we're carrying some cargo, and it's fuel or something like that, and it's slowing us down, and we're taking fire, and I'm pulling the pin out, to separate it, and then all of a sudden I get the bump, and I kind of come to, and I'm it's like blurry vision. There's two things. It's the fuel, and it's the, intoxicants that we're taking in, and I will roll self-possessed.
All right.
That's cool. I rolled a 7, and my cool is 1. So I got
an 8. You are effectively able to interrupt your machine. You must deal with it somehow instead of doing what you intended.
So I think the vision solidifies, and I see that this isn't the fuel. This is that was a past event. And I think I'm going to need maintenance after this.
I was about to say, do I still roll to help? Because then I could maybe roll my cool and see if it's a better result for you.
Are you okay with that, Steven, or do you want to? Okay,
yeah, I think that's good. And the way that you can help is you can make sure that it kind of jolts me back into place.
All right.
Oh no, I did not help. I got a 6.
Fail on a help. Just so I'm clear, a fail on a help means Rich is looking on the basic moves to make sure that I've got that there. Miss and hit. I don't think there's anything. It's just Rich has a potential of making a move as MC. So yeah, you reach back. You did your little bit of help to enable HT to do the thing. You're gonna need some repairs later, HT, but you're able to resist your programming and not disconnect. And you hear R5 burble, and he's making you aware that there is a starship, tramp freighter, that is coming around the storm itself from behind you guys, and she is starting to track and shadow you guys. Evidently was coming from behind, and now is up above and to your left. What do you do, Kiana? You're outdistancing this storm. You're still successfully doing that thing. Up ahead is is the Rancor pit, your ultimate destination. But it appears that there's a ship that may be dealing with you. What do you do, Kiana?
I think I'm going to have to pull out some. This may be Star Wars. This directed by one of the people from the Fast and the Furious. I think I need to act under fire to do some tricky skills.
All right, let's see you act under fire then. So the plan is continue pushing pedal to the metal as fast as you possibly can. So you're still ahead of the maelstrom, the literal maelstrom, but trying to do some fancy tricks to keep from being fired upon. So let's see you pull that off.
Oh yeah, I got a 10. No, I got a 9.
I was about to say, you have a 3?
No,
right.
That is an 8. Sorry.
2 and 5, 7. So it's a 9, right?
Yes.
Cool. All right. So you got a 9 on act under fire. It means you flinch, hesitate, or stall, and the MC can offer you. Do you want to ask Kiana how you can help?
Kiana, how can I help?
Maybe just take a few pot shots at it. Keep them off the tail.
Okay. And this is roll with HX?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. And I got a 6 + 2.
Yep.
So that's an 8 on help someone.
All right. I'll say that allows you to give a +1, which will push you to a 10, right? Because it was 7
it was
plus
9.
And 7 + 2 is 9, and +1 makes it a 10. So you start to get worried, but you do not flinch, hesitate, or stall. With a 10+, you do it. HT, you know that your fire from your weapons isn't going to take down one of these. It's not like you have that level of weaponry, but you are trained well enough to where you can fire a few pot shots near the cockpit, and basically make them think twice or distract them enough to where, Kiana, you come ahead and you see the Rancor pit, and they have underground parking. So you see that the ramp is kind of dropping down for you to head, and you see that all the lights on the outside of Rancor pit are turned off because they're prepping for the stuff. So they're kind of closing all the storm shuttered windows and the like. Kiana, I assume you park in front, or you head down into the underground parking?
Oh yeah.
Sweet. So, and then the underground parking ramp pops back up again, and you see there's a lot of movement. There are Gamorreans who are moving things, big heavy things, off of the people that have brought their vehicle and stuff in here. There's a small community around Rancor Pit. While it's ostensibly a bar, it's also like the last stop before you head out into the nowheres. So a lot of people kind of set up here as a tiny little market that's been set up, and you look back and you see behind your speeder is all of those intoxicants. You beat the storm, and whoever was in, by the way, that freighter was something you guys can recognize again. It was not a ship you had seen before, HT. The markings on it are from Off-World. So, Kiana, you're here at the Rancor Pit. What do you do?
I will park in the best looking parking place for our gear and my ship. Hopefully not near anything that'll mess up this paint job, because unlike most of these slags, I put effort into my vehicle. And I think my R5 unit will be beeping sassily, and I'll just sort of pat on the head. Oh, beep boop yourself. We made it.
Nice. Phantom Tredas, Aduros, comes over, and he says, Kiana glances over at HT. You know that Phantom is one of he's head of security, if you would call such a thing in a bar. Delivery?
I didn't bring it here for myself, so yeah.
He makes a few pig squeal noises, and a few Gamorreans come over to unhitch and move the crates towards storage. You likely are staying, yes?
Well, don't want to go back out there right now.
So whenever the Gamorreans go to unhitch things, I'd like to read a sitch.
Oh, cool. You should definitely do that.
Yeah. And what I'm looking for is, we just came out of a firefight. Someone was trying to steal things from us. Is this the right kind of person, kind of thing? So I got a 7. And what is Rita's sitch? It's sharp?
It's sharp. Yep. So
I got
it's
a 7.
flat. All right. You get to ask a question.
And that is...
So if you're trying to see if you should trust Phantom Tredas, then maybe you're reading him as a person. I just want to make sure.
Yeah, so I don't think I'm trying to trust him. I'm trying to make sure the guards aren't going to steal it or anything
Gotcha.
like that.
Okay,
I
cool.
think, and the way that this looks on screen is HT actually steps forward towards Denton,
Yeah, Fenton.
Fenton, and says, what kind, have you heard of a ship? And I give the what's the right, not the call sign, but the lettering, the number for that ship that fired upon us, and say, oh, what do you know about ship XYZ?
He says, arrived recently. Why?
They tried to stop us from getting here. And I'm watching the guards as they take off with the cargo. Can they be trusted?
Oh, they work. They work for the pit.
And I turn to Kiana and I say, have you gotten your payment?
And she does hold out a hand. It's like, yes, I was told it was payment on delivery. And she'll name the price that she worked out with Witter.
He says, yes, I don't carry that down here. You'll need to talk to the boss, but yes.
Then you'll need to hook that back up. Payment on delivery.
Nice. He peers at you for a moment, not really happy with the idea of being told. So I think maybe you're trying to. You're not trying to deceive him.
I'm going aggro with my reputation in the
Oh, that sounds hot. Let's do that.
Because
I'm going to help that.
Yeah.
I'm going to see if I can help with that. Oh, you should roll first.
Well, let me read because I have a custom port of call for the Rancor pit.
Mm-hmm.
The Rancor pit. I know people here with loose morals, but an undying debt to me.
Nice.
So yeah, let me roll first. That is a 9.
So I think that HT actually steps over towards the Gamorrean guards to take the lift from them. And I'm going to roll to help, and that's plus HX. And I rolled a 9 to help.
Okay. And that 9 will push you to a 10. And if you're going aggro, then take a look at the basic move for that. I think it's a thing where he's got to make a choice or
is confront someone.
Confront, that's the one. Yeah. 10 plus, they have to choose back down and give you your way, defy you and fight back, or submit to your mercy and ask you to reconsider. So HT, you look over at those two Gamorreans, and the female Gamorrean peers at you for a second. She just puts her big green hands up, and the other Gamorrean wasn't paying attention, and he looks up when he's not getting help, and he sees her backing off, and then he looks up at you. And then he just puts the pin back in the little hitch and gently steps back. Fentun, he takes a moment. Like he holds this for a moment. But yeah, he knows that there are a lot of people who owe you. He says, all right, talk to Wisher, settle up with her, and then we'll take this. I'll set one of my people on it unless your big guy's going to be watching things.
My big guy is going to be watching me. And I think she just pulls out this retro car alarm and blinks it on the Macho Racer. And I think it actually makes the R5 droid's lights blink.
Viper arm. Blink, blink, blink. Awesome. So we'll cut with the two of you heading up the set of stone stairs from the Rancor pit parking area to see Wisher. she is in the Rancor pit itself. We cut back to Vale and Bard, and the now recovering Sawana, as you had just laid out the accusation of like, you're going to tell us the truth or what? And she says, yes. Oh, I found it in Moribund, underneath in a vault. I'm sorry I lied to you, Vale. I just thought I thought it would be worth a lot of credits.
She goes, it might be. We're trying to understand why there's so much trouble associated with it.
I didn't kill anyone for it.
So tell me about this place where you found it. You said in a vault. Was there a ship in the vault?
There were a bunch of parts and junk. It was like an explosion had gone off in there. I picked through everything, trying to find things that were worthwhile. It was old tech. All the wires were rotted away. None of the connectors worked anymore. But I found this crystal just lying inside all of the guts and the debris and the detritus. And I just knew that there was something special. But there's more. There's more junk down there.
We should go take a look, just because it's kind of dangerous. And sort of looks back at Bard, and she goes, and you're bleeding all over, so we need to do something about that.
Thanks. That'd be much appreciated.
And mind you, I haven't given the crystal back yet. but how do you do something to heal someone up?
Great question. So in Star Wars, of course, you spray some Bacter spray or give them a med kit of some kind. How does it work here? I know we don't have a medic, so I think the medic has some rules. So let's check that real quick.
Yeah, I think Vale has like a box of med kits, but they're not like a standard set of med kits. They're a bunch of boxes where she's put the materials together.
If you're willing to spend a barter, then I'll say that you have the ability to roll to try to help out. Let's see, and allow them to recover 1 harm.
All right, that's what I'm going to do then.
All right. Cool. So you can recover 1 harm. That takes you from a 6 to a 3, and the 3 will just go away with time.
Nice. Yeah. So while Vale is pulling out this kind of miscellany of medical supplies to try and deal with this unusual ignited sword wound that Bard took from the wolves, Bard will be saying, Vale, I know the wolves, but you know stuff. Divisive.
I do know stuff.
Do you think we should be trying to go back to where this thing came from, or should we just try to destroy it? It's clear the wolves are interested in it, but I don't know what it is.
And she sort of stops and she goes, listen, at least this crystal was part of the big weapon, the one that they used to blow up the city. So it's got something to do with energy or shaping the energy. I got to look into it. It didn't tell me a lot. Highly secretive, this crystal.
Didn't tell me anything. I mean, I've got claim on this, so I'm going. But I need you to work on my rifle. Can you fix that?
Yeah. You're going to need a whole new case, though.
Oh, man, I love this case. You see this? I drew your Lothcat on it.
It's pretty nice. Counselor stripy pants looks good on a counselor. I mean, on a blaster. So, yes, we'll do this thing. We will go with you. And we'll find out why the wolves are interested. Does that sound right, Bard?
There's something, all right. We'll get to the bottom of it.
Yes. But we have to figure out a better way to handle those wolves. And she goes, because I don't really think my stun stick was as effective as it looked like. But I don't know why it worked.
A flamey sword. I mean, how does that even work?
Look at this wound. It looks like a shish kebab. But and she looks at Bard. You're the expert. What is going on there?
I think they're spirits from long ago. Ancient warriors, but not the good kind. I don't know. Can I open my brain to the world's psychic maelstrom and see if I can pick up any last any lingering clues about the wolves from this recent encounter?
Well, of course you can do that.
Great. Yeah, since we're trying to get to the bottom of this thing, yeah, I'll go ahead and open my brain to the wolves because nothing bad can come out of that. I rolled a 6, but I have one weird, so it's a 7.
Oh, nice. So on a 7 to 9, on any hit, the MC must tell you something new and interesting about the current situation. You might might ask you a question or two. Answer them frankly. On a 7 to 9, the MC can stick to impressions and suggestions. Excuse me. If you already know everything there is to know about the situation, I must tell you so. You do not know all that there is to know.
Yeah. Yeah, if I stare at where the wolf vanished and like look back at this crystal that we're wondering about, what sort of impressions do I pick up?
The impressions that you get, the impressions that you pick up, is that the wolves are somehow connected to this crystal and that weapon. They want this crystal to be found. They led Swana to this piece. They don't want you involved, though. You can just die.
Well, I think unfortunately I'm going to have to disappoint them.
Cool. So does that sound like a point where we end that scene?
Yeah.
All right. Cool. So I think we will bring tonight. Not even, we don't have any European folks, so what is for saying tonight for? This will bring this session to a close. There is one end of session move that isn't actually in the digital zine, but I have confirmed through the Discord and also talking with Sawyer to make sure that it's a thing. At session end. At the end of every session, choose a character who knows you better than they used to. If there's more than one, choose one at your whim. Tell that player to add +1 to their HX with you on their sheet. If this brings them to HX +4, they reset to HX +1 and therefore mark improvement, not XP, improvement. If no one knows you better, choose a character who doesn't know you as well as they thought, or choose any character at your whim. Tell that player to take -1 H to their HX with you on their sheet. And if that takes them to a -3, then they reset to HX 0 and therefore mark improvement. So we will start like we did before. Bard, who knows you better?
It's Vale.
Seems appropriate.
Yeah.
And then we will go to Kiana, who knows you better?
HT 37, 67 plus 37 equals success.
Vale, who knows you better?
Definitely Bard.
And then HT, who knows you better?
Definitely Kiana with the interpreting the bump needed to happen at the right time.
Absolutely. So that is all of the Apocalypse World burned over. We have some time left, though, to do feedback, because I love to do feedback at the end of every session, especially since this is the second time I've run Apocalypse World burned over, first time that I've run it in Star Wars. So that feedback is invaluable to me, friends. But we'll do it in a nice, gentle, easy manner with stars and wishes. Just, if you could, any wishes that you'd like to throw out that are particular around points of confusion or aspects of burned over or burned over in Star Wars, anything along those lines that you'd like for me to try to solve for next session to make the game even more fun. So 2 stars. The stars, of course, are positive feedback to fellow players for things they did that delighted you or particular moments in the game that you quite enjoyed. And I'm going to go in reverse order. So, Stephen, you get 2 stars and a wish.
I'll start with the wish. I've played Star Wars Apocalypse World a few times before, and so far burned over to me doesn't feel very Star Warsy yet. It feels more Apocalypse than it does Star Wars, if that makes any sense. Okay. I mean, I see a few Star Wars elements, but there was a feeling that seemed to be missing to me. And I don't know. I'm not sure exactly where that came from. Yeah, I think it's the desolation that we're all dealing with, an aftermath of the destruction of this place. And I think we were all leaning into that. And I'm just talking out loud. I'm not sure exactly what's going on, but I think that it feels more like the end of the world than it does something like Rebels or A New Hope. So
that's helpful. Thank you.
Yeah.
Because I think making it feel Star Warsy is something that we've achieved in previous Apocalypse Worlds. So that's good. I appreciate that.
Oh, and I feel confident we'll get there.
Yeah,
so,
me too.
Yeah,
me too.
Yeah,
but I still think this is good first impression stuff for me to ruminate on. Thank you very much, Stephen. So what about a couple of stars?
Yeah, so as far as stars, looking at, there's a lot of new choices with the different playbooks where combinations happened. And I see how all of them got combined into these very Star Wars characters. So like whenever I was building HT, I was like, oh yeah, this works really well as a stormtrooper. And as I see Bard, I'm like, ooh, I really like the way that each of the characters, have adapted the playbook, the existing playbook, into something that's completely legit in a Star Wars world. Yeah. It's why I have confidence that things will get very Star Warsy here in a little bit. Yeah. And then other stars, well, I always like playing new systems, so this is good for me. I haven't played Burned Over before, and I was kind of excited to. So.
Cool. Thank you very much, Stephen. And so next we will go to Sherry, 2 stars and a wish.
Okay, so star number 1, I like that there's a certain amount of figuring burned over out, because then I'm hearing it when other people, like what's helpful to me is helpful to other people, and what's helpful to other people about learning about the system is helpful to me, and it's not like I'm the one that's dragging all of it down. Sometimes,
no, that's an amusing star.
So I've really enjoyed that, and in the sense that I'm learning a lot at the same time that other people are getting things clarified and stuff too. I really like this group of people because they know their system and they play it and give me lots of awesome examples of how to lean into the thing. So this has been really good. And I do appreciate that a ton. And wishes, let's see here. I think by the end of this, I would like to have an army of loath cats. So that is it. I'm going to become a crazy loath cat lady.
I'm glad that you could lead into the Lothcat stuff. I'm glad that pleased you instead of like, oh, why is Rich doing this weird?
No, I love him. He's Counselor Stripey spots, and I think it'll work great.
Cool. Sawyer, 2 stars and a wish. Oh, did you have I'm sorry. Did you hit wish?
Did I? Yeah, I wished for more Lothcats.
Oh, what a weird wish. I'll take it. Awesome. Sawyer, 2 stars and a wish.
Yeah, Star Wise, I really liked it really felt like Kiana and HT-37 were that like old school Turner and Hooch, like good cop, bad cop kind of thing. It's like when but like more like, you know, bad cop, threatening cop. And I really like how you're handling some of these hard choices and hard moves, Rich. It's a completely different way than I do, and I think I'm learning how to Apocalypse World differently from being in this game.
Oh, well, thank you.
And wish-wise, I hope my backseat emceeing does not become a problem.
It's good. You've been very helpful. I super appreciate it, Sawyer. Thank you. Good. Alexi, 2 stars and a wish.
Yeah. Star to Stephen for saying yes when I asked if you were a wolf of the Maelstrom, because that is great. So much open there. And star to Vale for being a more kind of humane person in this apocalypse world. Thank you for spending your barter to patch me up. I think this could be the beginning of a beautiful friendship.
Yes. Plus, she fixes things.
Yes. Wish is just to get all these characters, more together, across the streams, and I'm sure we'll be doing this in the coming sessions, but I'm very excited to see, Vale and Kiana, Bard and HT, all the other combinations we haven't seen yet of our cast of PCs.
Absolutely. I completely agree with you, Alexi, on that. I'd definitely like to mix and match pairings and groupings and all that good stuff. Cool. So thank you all so much for giving Star Wars Burned Over, or Apocalypse World Burned Over in Star Wars, a shot. And thank you for your feedback and your great attitudes as we gave this a shot. Thank you all for being forgiving, because there were several times where I'm like, I need to go look in the book. And is this the way it was in this version or this version? And I stumbled a few times, and you all were very patient. Thank you. That means a lot to me. I'll go ahead and bring this particular live stream to a finish, and we will see you all next week.